Of all the stories shared about Roberto Clemente, one of the most mysterious is the case of his abduction. Although no witnesses were present, nor any arrests made, a San Diego detective believed Clemente's story after he questioned the All-Star for nearly 2 hours. How wild is it to think of an MLB player being abducted? The most recent case that comes to mind is that of Wilson Ramos. In 2011, the Mets player was kidnapped from the front of his home in Valencia, Venezuela. He went missing for 2 days, and the perpetrators were asking for a ransom in return. Eventually, police forces were able to free the catcher. Clemente's story is a little different. It wasn't publicized until after a year of the alleged incident, and it also included a bucket of chicken. Clemente's respect amongst the community was no secret. He was loved and adored by fans across the country, including the Caribbean, obviously. He was known for giving back, especially to the youth. So to think Clemente was the target of a kidnapping at gunpoint was far from anyone's mind. According to Clemente, the abduction took place August 1969, as he told Bill Christine of the Pittsburgh Press. Christine had approached Clemente on August 9, 1970, and questioned him about the story after he was tipped off about it. Naturally, he wanted to know more information from the victim himself. Clemente went on to share and said that he did not say anything up to that point because he feared the kidnappers would circle back and blast him. Clemente said that the day after the kidnapping, he told teammate Jose Pagan, Pirates coach Bill Verdon, and umpire Lee Weyer. It also came to light that Clemente also divulged the incident to teammate Matty Alou and Pirates GM Joe Brown. So, what happened? On a Friday night in August 1969, the Pirates were visiting the Padres in San Diego. In the 4th inning of that game, Clemente got tossed by the home plate umpire Lee Weyer for arguing balls and strikes. He would later return to his hotel room. Sources state that the hotel was Town & Country in the Mission Valley of San Diego, where he would eventually get on the phone with his wife and tell her about his plans of quitting baseball. At this point, he was dealing with a bad shoulder, but his wife convinced him to keep playing despite feeling down. Fast forward, and it is now midnight, and Clemente figured he would go out for some food. As he left the lobby of the hotel room, his teammate Willie Stargell, another future Hall of Famer, was walking in with a bucket of chicken. Stargell recommended the spot to Clemente, so he went to get his own order of fried chicken. As he was walking back with his food, a car pulled up on him, and they immediately pulled out a strap and ordered the outfielder to get into the whip. He was forced to lie face down on the floorboard of the car with the gun up against him. The kidnappers took him to a spot overlooking the valley. Eventually, it was assumed that the spot was Balboa Park. At this point, he was taken out of the car and told to strip everything besides his undergarments. Then, the man with the piece shoved our beloved Hall of Famer toward the front of the car, where he ended up putting the gun into his mouth. As he stood there with the gun in his mouth, the other guys were going through his things. Bam, jackpot, they found $250, which equals to about $1,993 today. Next, they noticed he had an All-Star game ring on his finger. Bam, that's gone. This is when I figured they were going to shoot me and throw me in the woods, Clemente told Christine of the Pittsburgh Press. In an attempt to convince the kidnappers to not pop a cap in him, Clemente told them he was a baseball player for the Padres. Clemente said the Padres because they were local and he didn't know if they would know who the Pirates were. Clemente then said, "If you really need the money, take it, but don't kill me." Eventually, one of the criminals found his MLB-PA Association membership card, and the ring suddenly made sense. With the new information, they quickly helped Clemente get dressed, going as far as straightening his necktie. The tone of the savages went from threatening to apologetic. All his items were returned. Then they took him about 3 blocks away from his hotel and dropped him off. And in true movie fashion, as Clemente walked up the block, he heard the car pull up again. He thought the kidnappers changed their mind. One kidnapper sticks out and says, "Here's your chicken."